Hi everyone, Nancy here. It is August 2021, and the time is 7:35 in the evening, and the temperature is plus 26, and in US terms that is 78 degrees, and it is very muggy out here. Yesterday and I think the day before we had a weather alert, which means a heat warning. Yes, and but the thing is, in my place, I didn't have to turn on the air conditioning. I turned it on yesterday, but today I didn't have to turn it on, even though it was really hot, like muggy outside and humid. So like right now, it's muggy, but indoors I don't have to turn on the air conditioner, so that's good. And yes, anyway, guys, I can hear the crickets happening again, but right now the noise of the crickets is being drowned out by, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's like can you hear that, like like that? It's dying down now, and now you can hear the crickets more. Listen. Okay, so that sound is that D sound, whatever it is, it goes, the volume rises and then goes up and down and up and down. Hold on, guys. Ooh, excuse me. Yes. Anyway, so I think that noise is going to go away. I don't know, like that sound of power lines, right? I think that might be what it is. Yep. But now the crickets, I can hear the crickets now. But in the morning, earlier in the day, I could hear them too. I don't normally hear the crickets in the day, but today in the morning I was hearing them in the afternoon too. Yes. So anyway, oh, I don't want to stay out here for too long because it's so muggy, guys. One time, I want to ask you a question. One time I was watching this reality show. By the way, I don't watch reality shows anymore because, like I said in one of my videos, that they dumb you down. You don't learn much from them. So this was like years ago. Oh good, Father God, the breeze is coming, cool breeze. So I was watching this one reality show. Maybe some of you guys know it. It was about this lady who helps people who are having affairs with married people to separate themselves from those relationships, right? And so this is what she does. And so one time I was watching one episode, and she was dealing with a lady who was very in love with this guy, and he was married, and they were having this really intense relationship, but he was still with his wife, right? And so the lady, like the girl, she was really, really in love with the guy, but she knew he was married. Right? So she got involved with this guy knowing that he was married and he had children. I don't remember, well, the thing is they didn't say. They just said that he was married and he had a family and, a wife and children. And so, yeah, so they had the girl and the guy had this intense relationship, and I don't know for how long, but it must have been, I'm guessing, guys, maybe up to a year, because they had developed like the kind of relationship where like you can say they were practically a couple, right? And it's as though the guy wasn't even married. So that's how much that relationship had developed. And the girl was so in love with him, and she didn't want to let him go. And so anyway, so the lady, right, the host of the show, she was explaining to her, okay, this is the situation. She was telling him, this guy is not going to leave his wife. He's not going to leave her. Okay, he's not going to do that. And what you are doing is creating for yourself a fantasy that in your mind that you will never have. He's never going to leave his wife for you. You are just something that he is not taking seriously. You're a plaything for him. You're madly in love with him, but he's just using you. So the host of the show was trying to explain this to her, and then so at some point in the show, like the girl eventually understood that she had to let him go, because she understood that she wasn't doing right by herself, because she was injuring herself with the more that she would stay with this guy, and the longer she would allow this quote unquote relationship to continue, you know. And it was very painful for her, of course, right? Because she fell in love with the guy, and I felt so sorry for her because she was such a sweet person, and it made me feel so sad, right? It made me sad because when you see the person's personality, then you get to relate to them, right? And you're like, oh, they're so sweet. Oh, this is so terrible. I know it's not a good thing what they're doing, but oh, I feel so bad for them. They're so nice. So that's the type of person that, like, when I saw her, like, that's the type of person she was. I felt so bad for her, right? So then the host of the show, after she was able to convince the girl, it's time to let him go, because she did a lot of counseling to the guy. The host did a lot of counseling to the girl. And perhaps you guys might even know about this particular episode after I mentioned some other details. Okay, so once the host was able to convince the girl that she needs to move on, she needs to move on. Right? Okay, those are some people that are playing in the park just on the ground level over here on the property. So once the host convinced the girl that she needed to move on, of course the girl was very pained and everything. She understood, okay, yes, I'm going to move on. So the host said, okay, now you need to go into your home and remove from your house everything that has to do with him, all of the gifts that he gave you, everything that has to do with him. You have to throw it away into the garbage. That right there really, it was like a blow, a punch to her heart, to her soul. That was so hard for her. It was so hard for her, and you can see it inside her, in her soul. In her face, she was so pained. But she understood that this was a step that she needed to take if she was going to move on. So she went in her house and she started to collect everything that the guy gave her, all the gifts, letters and trinkets and all kinds of things, right? All kinds of things. For my friends who don't understand what the word trinket means, you spell it like this: the letter T for Thomas, R for Robert, T for Thomas, R for Robert, I for idiot, N for Nancy, C for cat, K for kitten, E for Edward, T for Thomas. Trinket, or plural with an S at the end, trinkets. Those are little gifts, right? So she needed to remove all these things from her house. And she did that. She gathered them all and she got rid of them. Right? And then she had this one... I wish those people would shut up. She had this one gift that she didn't throw it away right away. What she did with it was something that was really okay, I will just explain it. It was a photo album, a big photo album with all of their pictures of her and the guy, of them, pictures together, having a good time, going on dates, regular pictures that couples take together, right? I think they even had pictures of them on vacations. If I'm not, I could be mistaken, but I think there were pictures of them on vacations, and just all those kinds of pictures that couples take together, adventures, going to the park, eating, stuff like that, right? Selfies, things like that. And so what she did, guys, with this album, she went She took the album and she went to the guy's apartment building, right? And she knew that he wasn't home, but his wife was. So she went into the lobby of the apartment building, and there's a waiting area, a sofa and a large table. She buzzed what did she buzz him? Or I think she called him, called the house, or she buzzed the house, the apartment. So I think she buzzed the apartment, and then the wife answered. And then the girl said to the wife, there's something here for, she named the guy, I don't know his name, she named the name of the guy. She said, there's something down here in the lobby, okay, it's waiting for whatever his name is. So it's down here in the lobby, please come and pick it up. She said, there's something down here in the lobby for him, whatever his name was. And so the lady, the girl hung up the phone or whatever, and then she left the photo album opened up. She left it opened up, and then she left. She left the lobby. She just left, and so she left, and that was the last of that. That was the last bit of thing that she had together with this guy. That was the last piece of connection that she had with the guy. And she left it right there for his wife to see. And so, that right there, wow. Wow. And so I was watching this with a relative, right? Yes, so the girl left the building. I'm getting so distracted because people down there, these kids they're not that little. They should have some education about giving the neighbor some peace. And now I've lost sort of my train of thought. So after the girl left, okay, and she left the album there. She just left. She moved on with her life, right? And she went and spoke to the host of the show, and the host of the show said, you did the right thing. You did the right thing, and now you're ready to move on. You're going to start a new chapter in your life. I was happy. I was proud of her for doing that. And I was watching this show with a relative, and I said to my relative, wow, that's good what she did. And my relative was like, no, Nancy, that's mean. That's terrible. I wouldn't have done that. I said, no. What the girl did was the right thing, because she wanted the wife of the guy. Sheesh. I feel like saying shut up. I said she wanted the wife of the guy that she was having an affair with to know about the affair. Okay? The girl had corrected her behavior. She understood that what she was doing was wrong. And so now she wants her wife she wants the guy's wife to know. She wants the wife of the guy whom she was having an affair with to know. She has the right to know. I told that to my relative. And my relative's like, no, Nancy, that's too harsh. I said, no, it's not harsh. It's not harsh. You see? Because what's happening is the guy deserves to be exposed for what he was doing, because he was cheating on his wife. And he was destroying his family. And so now that his wife, it's been revealed to her what he was doing, now she has a choice in the entire situation. She has a choice as to how she's going to handle it. Before, she had no choice because she was kept in the dark. So that's not fair. She has to know. Some wives choose to stay with their husbands and others choose to leave. So now that she knows, she has that choice. So that choice was given to her, right? So my relative was like, no, I still don't agree. And I said, well, I don't understand how you don't agree, because the wife needed to know. It's not fair, right? And so guys, my question to you is, what do you think about that? Do you think that what the girl did by leaving the photo album there with her life with this lady's husband, do you think that was fair to the guy? Because my relative was saying, well, that's not fair. She was saying that it's not fair to the guy, right? That's what my relative was saying. It's not fair to the guy. But I was telling my relative, no, it is fair because he was committing adultery, and his wife needed to know. So, but my relative's like, no, I feel so bad. Like, my relative wasn't saying that they were agreeing with what they were doing. My relative just has like they think it's some things are too harsh, and she says no, the girl could have gone about it another way instead of exposing the husband like that. And I said, no, what the girl did was exactly what the guy deserved. Lay it on the table and open up the truth for those who are involved, who need to know, to know. Unbelievable. So, it's people making so much noise. And so, yes, so my question to you guys is, do you think what the girl did by exposing her, her ex-boyfriend to his wife, do you think it was right? I think it's right. You know why? Because he was committing adultery, and she came to understand that what she was doing was wrong. It's morally wrong. And so then she corrected herself, and she wanted to now tell the guy's wife, what's happening, because she wants, I'm losing my concentration here. Unbelievable. If I were those kids, my mother, she would have already come out there and beaten my bottom for screaming like that on the street, out in public. I don't understand. Some parents, they don't teach their children how to behave and have any I was gonna say morals, not morals, but they don't teach their children how to have any education. They just screaming like with all kinds of craziness. Control yourself, man. It's unbelievable. I don't care how old your kids are. It's your responsibility to teach them how to be educated. It starts when they come out of the womb. That's what God says in the Bible. Sheesh. So anyway, yeah, so it's right. It's right what the girl did to expose the guy. And another reason for why it was right for the girl to expose the guy was because, for example, what if the husband, now this goes for husbands and wives, like I'm not picking on the husbands, right? I mean, it could have been a guy who was involved with a married lady, right, who had to understand that he had to sever this relationship because he was committing adultery, right? And then he had to expose the lady for what she was doing behind her husband's back. Unbelievable. Okay, so I was trying to say that it's good for the person who has come to understand that they now need to stop cheating with a married person, because the spouse of that person you're cheating with also runs the risk of catching a venereal disease. You understand? So this is a very important reason. It's a very important reason for why, okay, the spouse that's being cheated on that they need to be made known that their spouse is cheating on them. So I want to know, what do you guys think? Would you, like, what do you think? Like, what do you say about this? Another thing, would you guys, if you had a friend and your friend was married and you knew that your friend's spouse was cheating on them, would you say something? Some of you I know wouldn't say anything because you understand that your friend is not going to believe you, right? Your friend is going to tell you, well, you're just trying to cause trouble for my marriage. Maybe you're after my wife. Maybe you're after my husband. Because that's how some friends take it. You know? So, yeah, that happens sometimes. But for some of you who will just like risk the chance that your friend will accuse you of something like that, you know, I guess you would tell your friend, you know, you would say to them, look, your husband or your wife is cheating on you. Now, you don't have to believe me, but this is what I know. Just take it for whatever it is. Take it however you want to, but this is what I know. I have seen it with my eyes. And so now you have to do with that information however you want to handle it. You can tell them like that. I would tell my friend. I would tell my friend if their spouse was cheating on them, because primarily I'd be concerned about venereal diseases, guys. So let me ask you another question. If your friend's spouse was cheating on them, right, and you knew that their spouse contracted an incurable venereal disease, at that point, would you tell your friend? I would. And even if the venereal disease is not deadly, would you still tell them? Or would you keep quiet? I want to know. For me, I would tell my friend. I would tell my friend. Because you don't want your friend to pay for the consequences of what their spouse is doing. So I would tell. You need to warn your friend of something that you know that they don't want to be affected by. And say your friend, say your friend, like you don't tell your friend, whoa, what's that? Yes, I saw another one of those huge, oh, there it is. It's a huge, I don't know what it is, guys, but it's an animal, right, with a very heavy body. It's an insect with a very, very gigantic heavy body, and it's got wings. I have no idea what it is. Picture like a marble, larger than a marble. Like, marbles are small, but this insect is probably about 2 times the size of a marble. Very heavy. And with wings, and when it flies, guys, you can even feel its weight. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying, it's carrying its weight as it's flying, you know, it's like bobbing and then rises up and bobs, you know what I'm saying? It's heavy. So I don't know, I've never seen that kind of insect. Whoa. Okay, that's a little tiny mosquito or whatever it is coming near my eyes. So anyway, yes, so I was saying, guys, for example, if your friend suddenly, if they get the disease and they find out later that you knew that their spouse was having an affair, contracted a disease, and you didn't warn them, you know, how do you think they're going to feel about it? They may even, you know, sever the relationship that they have with you. And you know what I'm saying? So even if it's that hard, right? If it's hard to warn your friend about their cheating spouse, at least do it just to protect them, even if they get mad at you. Do it for the sake of protecting them, because at least they will know Whatever happens next, it will not be on you. It won't be on you. Whatever happens next, they have a choice as to how to deal with that situation, right? So I believe it's the right thing to do to tell our friends or a friend about their cheating spouse so that they can make a decision. You know, they can say, okay, well, I don't believe you. Okay, that's fine. But when, the stuff hits the fan, when the stuff hits the fan, they're going to know, that what you were saying was the truth. And then they're going to realize that you were only trying to protect them, not to destroy their marriage or cause trouble. Right? So, yeah, I would tell my friend, especially if I knew that the person that they were cheating with gave them a disease. I would never keep quiet. Never. Never, never. I would say something. So, yep. So I want to know, what would you guys do? Would you tell your friend about their cheating spouse, or would you just keep quiet? Think about the reasons. Think about the reasons that I just mentioned for why you may or may not tell your friend. Oh, and by the way, it's much cooler now. The wind is cool, and if you happen to be the kind of person who feels the cold, like the air is cool, right? And if your body feels cold in the summer, the cold wind, if you get really cold, even if it's cool, just a cool temperature, you would get cold. You would need a sweater, a warm jacket, a light jacket, and possibly even a sweater underneath, because it is rather cool out here at this point. But it's really nice. Yep. Yeah, but anyways, guys, that's all I have to say. Guys, you know what? Before my camera finishes, for those of you who don't know, my camera stops recording at 29 minutes and 49 seconds. This is completely off topic, but it just reminded me of a topic that I spoke about 3 days ago, about a sad thing that happened to a gay person. I'll have that link for you at the end screen. So I was reading the Yahoo News, and a waiter, he's gay, right? He received a really ugly note by some customers. The note said, thank you for the dinner, or something like that. It was nice, but we don't give tips to filthy homosexuals. Can you believe that? Was that necessary? What's wrong with people? That's awful, guys. That's really cruel. You may not agree with certain people's lifestyle, but it doesn't mean that you have to be so disgusting and vicious. That's not necessary. Those people are going to hell because they don't know how to treat other people that God created in His image. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Thanks, subscribe, and click on the bell. Ciao.